Aloha, welcome in. Kapualani here with your timeless guidance. Let's go ahead and open up a space. And I invite you as I chime my tuning fork here to connect to your breath, connect to your goals, your intentions, giving thanks, gratitude, and appreciation to yourself, your higher self, to all who are here holding space, to your higher power, your ancestors, and ancient lineages. But let's do this. All right. As we were opening space with the tuning forks, I heard collective reset. The words collective reset coming through. So see what that feels like for you. And what I get with collective reset now, as I'm recording this, we are going to be having full moon coming up, I believe on the 7th. But again, anytime that you're seeing this, as always, take what resonates, leave the rest behind. So we're entering into this space of release and cleansing, clearing the space for the next phase of things, the next cycle. I believe we're also entering into the eclipse season. But nevertheless, Spirit, what do we need to hear at this time? What is the core message, the energies that are surrounding us at this moment? Thank you, Spirit. Not just that, Spirit, but as we proceed, as we move forward, how do we work with those messages, those energies, and so forth? Thank you. So we got a jumper card with this Three of Pentacles. So collaborations and collaborative efforts, things that are starting to finally connect and come together. Things in the physical that are taking shape, taking form, and shifting out of maybe a space of feeling imbalanced and like you're really kind of having to contend with choices, with options, even sort of having to find your footing. We're able to start to establish or start to see the beginning of what is establishing a more solid and firm foundation. Okay, so thank you for that message, Spirit. But let's see, let's get to the core of our spread here. Thank you. And here we go. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like, be open. Be open to I almost want to say putting yourself out there, but it's not so much of putting yourself out there, but it's calling in those connections, calling in the people, places, and experiences that are in alignment with your highest, greatest good and self here. Okay, so let's see. First up, we've got temperance. So with this temperance energy, representing the Sagittarius sign, forgive me, I know I always gotta like add in those zodiacs because you never know. But this is an opportunity for integration. This is an opportunity for where, I'm present to the water, I'm present to the fire. And with water, they can be of, the word heaviness has been pretty apparent for a number of people. So if that resonates with you, then maybe there's something to it with this message. Collectively speaking, all right, there's been this sort of holding space that many people have been affected by, or experiencing. In other words, we're moving through such massive transitions in our lifetimes. And, who knows, this could have been said for any lifetime, right? Forward or backwards. But here we are. And so with temperance, again, this energy of integration, this energy of staying focused and keeping things moving, but also being mindful to not kind of get ahead of ourselves. There's an energy of healing that temperance can often also kind of bring up and encourage, but balance is a big one here. Okay, this energy between, let's just say, our own core independence and honoring the greater whole and finding that balance. This balance of applying ourselves and taking actions while also acknowledging and honoring how taking such actions, or implementing certain things, or going about doing this, that, or the other, how that affects us emotionally. How are you feeling based on the actions that you've been taking? What adjustments do you need to make, or are you making, to find some form of harmony in the process, right? There's also an archangelic figure that we see in the traditional Rider Waite version of temperance. And please forgive me. Anyone wants to chime in to the notes to either correct me or validate me. I believe it's Archangel Raphael, but I could be wrong because I used to say, "Oh, Mikael." I'm like, "Oh wait, maybe it's not." Um, but yeah, having an energy integrity, it comes through at times when I connect to temperance, this version, especially because of that heron bird that we see representing temperance. And so it's all things done under the presence and the I want to say wherewithal. Sorry if those are the wrong words, but just in with the spirit of integrity. You know, why are we doing what we're doing? What are the intentions there? And are we doing this to the best of our ability, or am I applying myself to the best of my ability, and am I honoring, just a certain, I don't know why it's coming through this way, but a code of ethic, or morality, or something along those lines. More than anything, again, it really hinges on not just making something happen, but there's a focus on quality, not just quantity. And respectfully, we're not just going to be so zeroed into the quality of something that we're not being mindful of getting things done either, right? So there's that balance again. And so, where is this taking us, Spirit? What are maybe some energies we can take a look at in alignment with the temperance energy, but the Six of Swords? And so, all right. Fair enough. When I see these energies together, all I can think of is how temperance connects the fire and the water, and then in the Six of Swords, even though this is air, the swords connects, in this case, excuse me, the Six of Swords connects air and water. And so there's this very interesting process that we're seeing. And there is a form of movement, things being underway. Some of you could be thinking about traveling, if not traveling, or thinking about relocating, if not in the middle of relocating, or just thinking about the future in terms of where you see yourself going. It may not be something that's happening right this second, the relocation, the movement, the travel, whatever it may be, but it could be something that you are working on, working toward, holding space for at some future point. Okay, it doesn't need to be happening right this second. It didn't had to have happened recently. You know what I mean? It could be something again that maybe you would like to see it happen right away, but maybe it's not going to happen for weeks or months, or maybe next year, which is, I don't know, so many months away, right? So anyway, with this Six of Swords, this temperance energy, I feel like it's also a message from Spirit that you are well on your way, okay? That things are going to be progressing. But let's see what's coming through with that. Look at that, the sun. There's going to be a new cycle, okay? I feel like this is very promising with these energies, Leo energies with the sun. But a form of liberation, connecting to joy, connecting to fulfillment, connecting to a greater sense of why, and being validated. I feel like you may be looking for validation. You may be welcoming that in. You may be ready for a new cycle, a new life experience. With the sun, also, anywhere that you have had questions, or you have felt like you're in the dark, the sun says that, it's all going to come out. Everything will be revealed under the sun. Nothing hidden. All right. So what is the sun energy revealing? Look at this judgment. There's a lot of this energy of revival, of renewal, of new cycles that are going to be opening and presenting themselves. There's energy and a feeling of breakthrough. Okay. If things have felt tumultuous or heavy, as I had mentioned earlier, these are giving me vibes. Fingers crossed, we've got other cards to get through here, but these are giving me vibes that things are going to be not just turning around, but you will be really shifting. Like I said, I don't know if I actually did say this, but this coming out of the dark and into the light, I didn't put it that way, but this energy of illumination. Look, we've got these doves here, and then we have this dove. appearing again in judgment. We've got also Archangel Gabriel with judgment. So there's a lot of this kind of divine influence, angelic guidance and influence, spirit ancestors on the other side pushing for you to make that progress, to keep going, to not give up, because there are breakthroughs ahead. If and where you feel like you're just kind of, you've been run down, your energy should be picking up. Okay, if it's like the week before or even a few days ago you felt really sort of that your energy was heavy, or like I said, run down or suppressed, repressed, there's going to be this sort of support coming through energetically. You should be feeling a sense of I almost want to say revival, but like your energy should be lifting up again. You should start to feel a bit more energized. All right. And this whole concept of the sun and judgment really gives me a sense that where you may have also felt maybe in the past like you weren't really sure what was out there for you, and it's not so much, oh, I'm giving up or whatever, but this feeling of, okay, you know what, I've got this, I can do this. There's, as long as I'm alive, there's still time to change things. And maybe that's part of the message as well, is as long as you are breathing, there's an opportunity to turn things around, to make things better, or to improve upon your situations, right? It's all about that perspective that we're moving through and with. And so this could be part of it with the temperance, is this is that time, like I said, the heaviness of the water and then the burning of that fire, right? And just kind of like, I think about steam. Sorry, I'm just thinking about the chemistry of things, and how, again, where there's a transformation, a transition that's in process, and there will be some kind of an illumination where there could have been questions that you'd had, or just a feeling of stuckness. Again, I feel there's going to be something that's going to be lifting, and that is lifting, as we speak here. And what is it? Three of Swords, confusion. Okay, conflict, mental conflict, feeling like you're not really sure where to put your focus. All right. I feel like this is what's being discerned. Okay. And or part of the illumination, we're going to be able to address those areas and aspects where we may have felt stuck, we may have felt blocked, where we may have felt like I just don't even know what to do. Like I have these regrets from the past. I have stress like, I don't know what to do about, like what the future is going to hold. And so there's confusion about where to prioritize your focus in the present. And so there's going to be some illumination of that. There's going to be some form of clarity around, okay, I may have moments, right? Because it's not to say, okay, here's the sun and here's judgment and everything's just going to be swell. Things have their ebbing and their flowing. And this Three of Swords spirit, how can we work with that? Look at that justice, something that seemed, I feel like whatever is being acknowledged, and the balance between having or feeling fulfilled, feeling hopeful, feeling like there are second chances, especially where there have been losses. This energy of justice, which, sorry guys, got to put that in there with Libra, um justice is going to be working on your behalf. All right. And where there have been some wrongs, this something's going to be kind of like laying down the law, is what I'm getting. And something may be called out, something or someone, you may be noticing something and just kind of saying, oh wow, I see this now, I see things clearly now. Maybe it was a little bit muddled and gray before, but now I'm starting to kind of really discern the light from the dark and all the in between. So there's a feeling of balance, maybe after, I feel like, be like, one thing that I will say, just seeing more of what's coming through here, is just be mindful of the choices that you're making, so that you're really, how should I put this, yeah, just be mindful of the choices and decisions that you're making. Be mindful of the words that you're choosing, especially if there's going to be, what I mean, difficult moments or struggles that you're going through. Just be mindful of your audience, especially with yourself and your self-talk. Okay, so let's kind of complete this with justice energy. 10 of Wands, yeah. So where again there has been imbalance, where you've been sort of carrying heavy burdens or moving through just cycles that feel like, oh my gosh, I just want this to come to an end. There's going to be an understanding of why that all happened, and it will be cycling out. You will be closing out those periods, those cycles of burden and hardship, and feeling exhausted, especially. There will be clarity also, like if you've been feeling physically exhausted or strained, there's going to be a little bit of clarity around, where that's coming from and why, along with hopefully maybe some steps that you can take, things that you can do to turn that around. But more than anything, as we know, when we see 10, 10 is an indication of cycles ending and beginning. All right. And so at the core of this, again, with judgment, I just feel like I also want to say again, there's a judgment call being made. With justice, there's certainly going to be some decisions that you're going to be empowered to make about the trajectory of where things go from this point moving forward. And so do your best to not take action from a place of fear or doubt. This doesn't mean to ignore your feelings at all. Deal with them really honestly and truly. Go into that so that you can heal whatever it is that's going on, or take a breath and try to really understand where any of those doubts and fears are coming from, so that you're not getting caught up in any of those types of cycles or, strains again. And that's what I'm getting here predominantly. Okay. So I hope that so far this has helped. For those who are new, we will go into an extension, a part 2 to this video. If you would like to join us at kapualani.com/extensions, I will leave a link in the description below and in the comments. In part 2, we're going to be connecting with the angels, angel answers for yes no question if you have any, even the romance angels. And I always say it doesn't have to be about love. You can just be what you are, what's speaking to you on a heart level at this moment, okay, for that kind of guidance. But let's pull, as we do, our animal spirit card. I'm gonna give my downloads in this reading, and then when we go into the part 2, I'll read from the book to get some deeper insight with whatever animal spirit guide or guides want to present at this time. All right, so thank you, spirit. And in part 2, we are going to dive deeper into some of these messages here, get some clearer guidance or deeper guidance, maybe some insight into timings of things and what we can expect and look forward to beyond all of this, if this reading resonates. Okay, spirit guides, animal spirit guides. Who is the messenger for us? Messengers. We have a number of cards here. There's 3 of them. We'll just keep them. We'll keep all 3 of them. Why not? We got fish, peacock, and dolphin. So make sure that you're not flip-flopping, being wishy-washy. All right, that's one of the energies with fish that I just want to point out that I'm picking up on here. um with the fish energy also, I get fertility and abundance. I feel like there are energies also, yeah, it's about just sort of streamlining your energy, focusing and harnessing that, what your intentions, so that you can move through something fluidly, powerfully, clearly, okay, confidently. Peacock. With Peacock, I feel this energy of, for whatever reason, I'm getting like not just self protection, there's an energy of pride, taking pride in yourself, and in what you're doing, how you're representing yourself, not being afraid to be seen as well. All right. I feel like with dolphin, there's a playfulness here. There is a higher intelligence with dolphin energies. And dolphins just in general. But again, I just get, again, playfulness, approaching things with a sense of joy, with passion. I feel like there's this energy here also. If with peacock, there may be an air of taking oneself or circumstances very seriously. Dolphin says to kind of lighten up. All right. So I'm going to close up here and I will see those of you who are interested in part two. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. You can get more insights such as this. And I also share some shorts as well. But if you'd like to schedule your session, I'm here for you, kapualani.com. But I will see you in part two. Thanks so much.